Imagine being trapped in your own neighborhood every single morning, watching the clock tick as you're held hostage by a sea of cars that shouldn't even be there. That's exactly what's happening to Shearwater residents right now, and it's sparking a heated debate about whose responsibility it really is to fix this mess. Every weekday morning, the quiet streets of Shearwater transform into what can only be described as a parking lot nightmare. The culprit? Trout Creek Academy's chaotic drop-off system that's turning a peaceful residential community into a traffic war zone. But here's where it gets controversial. Some residents are starting to question whether this prestigious school should have been built in their neighborhood in the first place. When News4Jax reporters arrived on a typical Wednesday morning, they witnessed something that would make any commuter's blood boil. Cars were stacked bumper to bumper near the academy's entrance, creating a backup so severe that traffic came to a complete halt for over a mile. Picture this. Residents who simply want to leave their own homes for work are forced to sit in gridlock caused by parents who don't even live in their community. One frustrated resident, watching the chaos unfold in real time, pointed out a pattern that's becoming all too familiar. You can see it starting to build up right now, they observed. The real issue is that parents just start lining up and parking wherever they want before any traffic control shows up to manage the situation. This early bird parking strategy might work for the parents, but it's creating a domino effect that paralyzes the entire neighborhood. Local parent Luis Garcia has found his own creative solution to the madness, though his approach highlights just how bad things have gotten. With a laugh that barely masks his frustration, Garcia admitted he's given up on driving altogether during school hours. Honestly, taking the bicycle is so much better, he explained. Think about that for a moment. A parent would rather pedal to school than deal with the traffic chaos that his fellow parents are creating. But here's where the story takes an interesting twist. Jasmine Harris, a Shearwater resident who's been watching the situation develop, believes she spotted a potential game changer. Right over there at the corner, they're constructing a new street that I think connects back to the highway they're building, Harris explained, her voice carrying a mix of hope and skepticism. My thinking is that if we could somehow access that route and then loop back through here, it might actually solve our problem. Harris might be onto something significant. County officials have confirmed that this mysterious dirt-packed street off 16A isn't just wishful thinking. It's a real project that should be completed and fully operational within approximately 2 months. But will 2 months feel like an eternity for residents who are already at their breaking point? Here's what's really happening behind the scenes that most people don't realize. County officials aren't just sitting back and hoping the problem resolves itself. They're actively coordinating with the sheriff's office and community leaders to tackle this traffic nightmare head-on. A county spokesperson revealed their strategy, stating, "We're fully aware of what's happening, and we're taking a proactive stance to identify and implement solutions that will eliminate these traffic backups while keeping safety as our top priority." And this is the part most people miss. The situation is actually showing signs of improvement. Even though it might not feel that way to drivers stuck in the daily gridlock. Harris, who's been living through this chaos since the school opened, offered a surprisingly optimistic perspective. "I actually think they've made some improvements this year because now everyone knows what to expect," she shared. "I'm willing to give the school some breathing room, since this is only their second year of operation. We all understand there are going to be growing pains and adjustments that need to happen. But let's address the elephant in the room that nobody wants to talk about. Is it fair for an entire residential community to suffer daily disruption because of one institution's poor planning?" Some residents are starting to whisper questions that school administrators probably don't want to hear. Should Trout Creek Academy have been required to provide better traffic management solutions before opening their doors? Are parents who choose this school responsible for finding alternative routes that don't impact local residents? The reality is that this situation raises uncomfortable questions about community planning, school placement, and who bears responsibility when private educational choices create public problems. While everyone agrees that children deserve quality education, the daily traffic chaos is testing the patience and goodwill of an entire neighborhood. What do you think? Should residential communities be expected to tolerate significant daily disruptions for schools that serve students from outside their area? Or should educational institutions be held to higher standards for traffic management before they're allowed to open? And here's the bigger question that might spark some heated responses. If you were a Shearwater resident dealing with this every single day, how long would your patience last before you demand more drastic solutions?